Hi guys, welcome back. Let me just preface by saying I was not planning on making this video until about 3 hours ago. Why? Because, oh boy, do we have a story. Do I have a story? Do I have several things to say? I'm like all mad about it, but I'm more just like triggered, so I guess I'm sort of mad about it, but it's sort of my fault, but we're gonna get to that. Because, whew, oh boy. I don't know, I don't understand why I let this happen, but it happened and it's currently happening. So, if you're new here, you should, before we get started, you should hit the subscribe button just below so that you can get updated when I do other videos. And, yeah, so, if you guys didn't know, if you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm Mary Rose. I am a photographer based here in Utah. So I've been doing photography for, I mean, like, officially? For like, Linda! Stop! I've been doing photography for about a year now. I mean, like, where I've had like clients and stuff like that. I've gotten more experience and stuff like that. I've been doing like hobby for about 7.5 years now, but that's where we're at. So, story time, and hopefully we can learn from this, folks. Okay, so I'm not gonna call out the client's name. I'm not gonna address him as his name or anything like that. Just know that I'm super like triggered by this right now. But let's get to the background before we get to the actual story and where we're at right now. So, last Saturday, which was, I don't know, the 14th, I did a photo shoot with my sister and her friend, and then their dates, which I assume they're all friends for pretty much the most part. So I did that on Saturday. I didn't film anything or whatever, but I was doing that because they were having a homecoming dance, and my sister was like, "Can you take some photos for that?" I was like, "Sure, whatever." Went fine. I had a few technical issues that I had to adjust for, but I mean, overall, it wasn't terrible. I edited the photos for the next like 3 or 4 days. They were done. They were submitted. Everybody liked them. That chapter ended. It's fine. So then yesterday, I had gotten an Instagram message from somebody, from a guy, who was like, I'm looking to ask you a few questions about something. I was like, sure, go ahead. So he had said that, oh, so I've been talking to this other guy who was from the photo shoot on Saturday with my sister. He's friends, or they've been talking or something, I don't know, I assume they're friends. But he was talking to him and mentioned, like me, I got brought into conversation somehow. I don't know how. I assume because he saw the photos, or he was showing them off, or who knows what. But he's like, I was hoping I can get some photos edited. I was like, okay. What exactly do you want with them? I asked, like, what format am I dealing with? Am I doing JPEG, RAW? I just need to know that. And then, how many photos are we doing? Did I mention that? I don't know. Probably not, but I wanted to kind of get a basis for, like, okay, what are we looking at? Because as soon as he's like, I need some photos edited, he was like, how much is it gonna be? I'm like, you need to help. Like, I can't just give you set price. I don't know what I'm working with. Let's be very clear. You should probably figure out how many photos we're editing and a bunch of stuff. Because for me, I need to know what I need to do my job. That's just how it works. Like, I don't know what you want, especially because this is a very artistic business aspect of the world, you know. It's very subjective. I need to know what you want out of it and like be specific. And I was getting very vague answers. I was getting, oh, I just need light. I just need some light and the color and make it look better than before. That's I've used some of what he actually said with just like kind of a summarized version of that. That's pretty much what I got, was like light, color, make it look good, which sounds like, I mean, from maybe a person standpoint who's not a photographer, who's just like, you know, the average person, consumer, whatever you want to call them. It's like, okay, yeah, no, I get that. Just add some light and put the color in it and make it look good. Which, I mean, sure, we all want stuff to look good, but if I'm editing your photos, if I'm your photographer, if I'm your editor, you need to be more specific. I don't know what you want from me, because adding light, everyone can add light, but how much light do you want? What do you want light and what do you not want light and what? I don't know. I don't know what personally you want. So it's like, okay, what exactly does that mean? Do you have like examples of what I can work with? He did also send me pictures that I had taken and I posted on Instagram. Mind you that this whole conversation took place on Instagram. So I was like, okay. So he's sent me 3 pictures that I had done. Like, I had taken the pictures and I had edited them myself. And so it showed like 2 of them were from last Saturday's photo shoot, and one of them was when I was in Hawaii. And I was like, okay. There is light, there is some color. I was very kind of selective on the color and what I wanted emphasized and whatnot, and you know, that's how it worked. And so then, yeah, I was like, okay, can I see some pictures you would like edited, just to see where my starting point is? I feel like that's a valid answer. So he was like, oh, can I give you my number and I'll explain it to you? I'm like, I mean, you could tell me what you want, but unless you give me a basis for where I'm starting, I cannot help you. I mean, I didn't say it like in that way, but I was like, I mean, I was out, so I was communicating with him while I was out. I wasn't even at home, so it's like it wouldn't have been a good time to call anyway. So it was like, I do need some like references. I need you to send me like something that shows what I'm working with, so I've got some idea of what you want. So after like, I don't know, maybe half an hour or something, I get 2 pictures were sent, and it was him and his date for homecoming. And it was like, this is it. These are what it looks like. I'm like, okay. And I could immediately tell these were taken on an iPhone, or a phone, I should say. Shouldn't discriminate against phones, because I mean, honestly, the only one that I know takes like really good photos has been the Google Pixel that I have seen. I have yet, even my iPhone, I honestly rarely, unless like very simple or like that I just need as a reference or something, or just like to capture the moment, but I'm not gonna post it or anything. I will take with my phone. Most of the time, if I'm doing nicer photos or I want nicer photos, I'm using my DSLR. Like, I will not use my iPhone in that instance because I'm trying to build a portfolio here and it's not gonna work. So he sends me 2 photos that were taken off of a phone. I will say, Instagram does have a way of really destroying the resolution on photos. Like, it's bad. Even Facebook too. Like, you could have like the best like high resolution image, and it was shot raw, and then you export it to a really high JPEG resolution, and just like the quality is like amazing. But then as soon as you post it on Facebook or Instagram, these platforms just crush it to shreds. So I was like, okay, maybe it was some issues, but it was like drastically, you could pretty much tell that it was taking off of a phone. Somebody took it. There was some weird cropping I noticed on it. Like, it's not the regular dimensions. Like, they had something was around the other sides of them in the photo, but then him or somebody else decided to cut off that and then just leave it where it's very long on the bottom. Like, there was unnecessary space, but that's something we're not going to talk about totally in depth right now. So yeah, he sent me those. It's like, okay, how many are you looking to edit? He's like, probably about 17. He's like, how much is it gonna be? So in my head, I'm like, normally, because I even looked this up, a lot of people, if you're really a professional and this is your living, you were editing photos about maybe $15 to $25 per photo. So to do 17 and then have, let's say, maybe each photo is 15, that's about what, $255, I think. If I remember, that's what the math was. Probably something. So I told him that, or I thought in my head, I will just, like, okay, I don't think he's a high schooler, so I don't think he's going to want to pay $255 for 17 photos. I mean, based on our interactions so far, it's been a lot of like, it feels like a lot of aggression and like, just, I'm trying, but he's not delivering what I need to get the job done. So I told him we'll make it $50. I mean, that is literally about $2.94 per photo. If each photo takes like 1 hour, that is way below the minimum wage that even a regular person who's working at McDonald's or Walmart is making. That is way less and a lot more effort for me. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna charge you $300 because I know you're not gonna pay that. I'm like, I will charge you $50. He's like, he basically told me that that was way too much and that he does not have that kind of money. I'm like, okay, and I had to kind of explain, not like being like, this is really cheap and stuff like that, you should be grateful, but I did explain like, well, nowadays in the industry, because this is a lot of people's living, they charge a lot more than I do. Normally people are charging between the, like, generally speaking, I'm not saying that every person does this, but generally speaking, about $15 to $25 per photo. So you could be paying about $300 for 17 photos, or you can just do the 50, especially because the quality is not great. Can't do a lot with it because it's not in RAW or even on a high resolution image, JPEG. Like, I feel like I was being very liberal. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's just how it is. You're even lucky that I'm charging only 50 for 17. So he's like, maybe can I see you edit one photo to see if you're good? So I was a little taken back because I was like, you can see my Instagram. You can see the work I've done. Like, if you didn't think my work was good, then why are you contacting me? But I disregarded it because I'm an idiot during this moment. Again, don't roast me. Don't roast me about the price either, because I know that is way, way too low and I should be setting my standards higher, but I didn't. So this is all a learning experience for me. So I do my best learning when I make the mistake, and then I can easily fix myself in the next situation that comes up that's very similar to this. So just a disclaimer. But anyways, I took one of his photos and I brought it into Lightroom and I did a very quick edit. It was like maybe a minute to 2 minutes to just do a very basic edit. I didn't bring it into Photoshop. I didn't do anything like that. It was just there, and I sent it to him. So it looked like he liked the photo, but then he unliked it. So I don't know what was going on there, and wasn't gonna even ask. So he's like, okay, maybe I might do 7 pictures. How much is that? And I told him, well, it would be $21. And for about maybe like 30 minutes, he got real upset that it was $21 because he assumed that I was charging $21 per photo to edit 7 photos. And we did a little bit of back and forth. It wasn't like, I don't think I was aggressive. He seemed like he was aggressive, and he was just like, dude, I'll pay you $40 to do all 7, man. I'm like, no, I'm charging you $21 total for the 7 items, or the 7 pictures. I was like, you're not paying 40, you're not paying 21 per photo. It's a grand total of 21. He's like, okay. So he asks, how should I send them through? Instagram or phone number is how he put it. I said I would prefer email because that's just way easier. And then I'll just send it through Instagram. I'm just gonna send. He said sand, S-A-N-D, through Instagram. And then he sent me 8 photos, which wasn't part of it. He said 7, probably 7. And then after he said the 8, he's like, that's 8. So how much will this be? 24? I'm like, yeah, pretty much, because it's $3 a photo, pretty much. He's like, okay. And then by the end of it, I think this one is like the most triggering out of all the things that just like annoy me, that just like, why? So he says, after I put the thing, he says, do your job, bro. Let's see how good you are. If they are gonna come up looking good, I will give you 30. Please take your time, with a thumbs up emoji. I looked at that, and I swear to God, I was like, how do I react to this? Because, I mean, my thought process was like, So what does he think I'm going to do? Did he think I wasn't gonna do my job and I was gonna take the money? He has the money right now. Like, he's not gonna give it to me until it's done. Like, that's what we agreed on. Because I mean that's something that I didn't talk about here, but we did agree that yeah, once it's done, then I'll get paid or something. Like, okay. So yeah, in my head, I'm like, I'm sorry. Are you telling me how to do my job? Because you're giving me nothing to work with. You're giving me something that is not what I would do, honestly. I would have picked a way better background. You know, I would have taken the photo with an actual camera or get someone to do it professionally or somebody else, you know, just so that it looks better, because photos on a phone are not great. I don't know if you've I swear I mean a lot of the phones have definitely improved on their quality, but no. I don't know who took these, but they're not great. I even like saw that one of the photos he had sent me, they weren't even in focus. Like, they were slightly out of focus, and the door behind them was in focus. So it's like you could zoom in slightly, because I mean I was in Lightroom and like it only zoomed in like not even that close, but you can. I was like, there's something wrong here. Their face is fuzzy. They're not in focus. The door is not really fuzzy. Okay. Yeah. All right. But I was like, back to the comment, I thought, well, please do not tell me how to do my job. I mean, I said that, but like in my head, and I said that on the camera, but I was just kind of like, if you don't think I can do my job, then why are you asking me to do it if you don't have confidence in me? Like, it made no sense, and honestly, I should have just like just put my foot down and said, well, if you don't have confidence in me, then this is not going to work. And that I wish the best of luck to you, and hoping you find somebody who's been pretty liberal with giving you this much, who's been doing a lot for you, who probably shouldn't have. And I definitely will not be as liberal as I was this time, because it just boggles my mind that some people think that it's okay to degrade photographers or editors just because, you know, you're the customer. Like, let me be honest, the customer is not, I mean, mind-boggling, I know. The customer is not always right. We just have to pretend that they're right. And it's a struggle. So I've been kind of going back and forth. I'm like, okay, well, whatever, I guess, that's fine. So I mean, that comment like just triggered the crap out of me, and it's still like triggering every time I see it. I'm like, excuse me. And then he keeps calling me bro as well, which I feel like is not professional in the least. It's like, sure, yeah, I'm a college student, but I'm still older than you, and like, you need some respect. But I was like, huh, okay, let's do it. And now that I've gone through this and I've really stepped back, I really needed to make a video and just express my feelings, because I'm just like, I'm sort of lost for words a little bit. I posted this story on like 2 different groups just to get like insight and, you know, feedback and just advice on what to do. So I've been doing that, and it's really liberating to hear like, yeah, you've made a mistake, but here's what you can do to improve it. Or like, people are just like, I just said no. I'm like, yeah, I probably should have done that. But that's really the story. That's where I'm at right now. And so now, as I'm editing, like I'm still editing these photos, I'm like, once I've gotten to a step, I ask him, okay, what else do we want? What do you want fixed? Because I need to know, because you didn't tell me. I mean, I didn't say you didn't tell me, but I said, is there anything else you want with this? And like, he's very concerned that his face is too dark. Something that, okay, this will be a very long video, but I look at these photos and some of them just like, I can do as best as I can. I can try and make miracles happen. I'm shocked that one of the photos that I have on my screen right now, I'm not going to show it because again, I'm not mentioning the client, what he looks like, what his name is, anything like that, his handle or whatever. I'm not doing that for privacy reasons, and just because I don't want to make that well known to everybody. But I'm shocked of just how much I played around with it. But I did have to send him like layers during the process and get feedback on each one. And he doesn't get back to me super quickly too. So it's like, okay, well, I can't move on until you tell me what else we need to do or if I can move on. So yeah, moral of the story is, just kind of, stand your ground. I mean, you don't have to be super liberal. I mean, you can be a little liberal. I think, everybody's situation is different, whatever. I just got roped in with someone who doesn't see the value in photography and doesn't understand how much work it is, because he's never played with Photoshop. He's never done Lightroom. He's never taken photos himself with an actual camera and having to work with clients and stuff like that. Like, this is kind of part of my living a little bit. So to hear that perspective, like, I mean, I've heard a lot of good things because I always strive for the best, and I am always like, okay, how do I make them look extra good and they feel good about looking at their photos? And I've always gotten like positive stuff. I mean, I've gotten people who are like, your photos suck and whatnot. Maybe my grandpa on my witch theme photo shoot that I have a video on. If you haven't seen it, linked below. But he didn't like those photos. He was blatantly obvious, or he said that in public. And then he was like insulting the models in it, and it's not okay. And I understand if you don't like my photos, that's one thing, but the fact that if you're gonna insult people who are willing to help and degrade people, that's not okay. So again, I think that's just another situation where it's just I'm dealing with people who are being degrading and don't understand the value. So it's a craft. It's not easy. If you've never dived in photography, I mean, it's a lot of work. So, I mean, even if you want to try it out, it's a lot of work just to get started. I'm still trying to get started, but I'm making it work and I'm trying. So, yeah, also, it's just like, I gotta learn. I understand now that I've got to be able to put my foot down when I need to. Like, if somebody is asking too much that I cannot give them, or if it's just, it doesn't seem right, that I need to put my foot down. It's like, well, I can do this to this extent. These are my rates. Someone said that in one of the comments on the group. So I was like, thank you. Let me know if you're interested. So I think that something I I will value, because yeah, I needed that. I needed to hear that, because I would have been like, okay, what do I say now? We've come to this before, but so yeah, it's kind of just a learning process. But I'm gonna get it done. I'll get these photos done, and then we can close this chapter and hopefully start a new one and a better one, because oh, I'm so just like triggered. I'm still just like triggered right now until this whole thing is just like over. So yeah, that was kind of my little story time, my photography story time, that probably is way too long now, but I feel like it's something I wanted to bring up, and I really wanted to just sit down and just tell someone about it. I mean, I've told people on, again, the groups, but really just like being vocal and saying out loud and really just letting it out and giving my opinion and what I've learned from it. And yeah, that's just kind of how I am. Now I know to not make the same mistake again, because that's how I learn, is make the mistake and then you'll learn from it. And now it's like, I know better now. So yeah, if you've got any advice, if you got any insight, again, do not come at me with those prices. I know those prices are low. We ignore that part of the thing. I know better. But I didn't let that click in my head when the situation was happening. So yeah, so again, let me know what you think, some feedback, what I should have done, because then it just tells me, yeah, you were kind of an idiot, but here's what you could have done. Because I established now, I know that I was kind of an idiot when that happened, so we're gonna make that work. And then any advice you got, like, you know, just like, here's what you can say next time, just say no, just do these things, and help me out a little bit. And then, you know, talk to the community around you in the comments below as well. I think it's always super helpful to get insight from everybody else as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like the video, and again, sorry it's super long, probably like an hour long, maybe less. But if you liked it, you should give it a big thumbs up. And if you want some more story times, I can I can find stories, tell you guys, I don't know, but we'll see. So thank you so much, and stay awesome. I love you, and bye-bye.